3, 2, 1. And welcome back to the K.I.S.S podcast, where we talk about kinda interesting stuff sometimes. With me every time, except for that one time, is Christopher.
Hey there, welcome.
I'm your host, Annie, and this time we're gonna talk about the spooky season, Halloween. Ooh, wow.
Yeah, spooky season, my favorite season.
Well, technically it doesn't happen for a couple of days, but, people nowadays consider the entire month to be like one holiday. Like, for example, Christmas starts now the day after Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
At least that's how it is, like, in stores and stuff. People immediately put out Christmas music and stuff the second even Halloween is over. Most corporations don't even consider Thanksgiving a holiday.
I hate the fact that, right, so like literally the day Halloween ends, like, let's put Christmas music on. It's like, for fuck's sake. Like, it's not even been Halloween over for a day. And immediately it's like, oh, we're going straight into this bullshit.
I'm telling you, man. Right now, like I've said before, I work at Walgreens. And right now we have Halloween on one side of the aisle and Christmas on the other side of the aisle. So you could just walk down and just be like, it's two holidays at once. Yay,
that's totally good.
And I know that the holiday stuff isn't going to be gone until, Christmas. So we're going to have, Halloween stuff up until December.
That's horrible. God damn.
Yeah, it's all wacky. And as soon as Christmas starts, we're going to get February, which is, what is it? Valentine's Day. We're going to get that stuff in any day now.
And then you have three at once, just all three of them on the shelves.
Yeah, it's just chaotic at this time of year.
Yeah, at my work we are having at the Bar in Revolution. Come on down, podcast listeners, to York of all places, and come to my bar. They have Halloween decorations up, and it's gonna be all really fun and spooky. Sounds nice.
Do you work Halloween?
I do not work Halloween, but I do work this Saturday. But I work from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. So I can go there in the nighttime and enjoy my nighttime festivities and get absolutely wasted.
Oh, that sounds nice.
So yeah, that's the plan. It should be a really good time. I'm looking forward to a few of the work people are going to go all together. And people are telling me I should get a costume. I'm like, I'm already scary enough as is. I'm good. I'm trying to wear this t-shirt, which you can see but the audience can't, which is just like a Skulls and Roses t-shirt.
You're a pretty big guy. You could just get like a Jason mask and that's it. Just,
You're right. I literally could just get a mask.
Just wear any coat and then just a Jason mask. And you're just like, I'm Jason, all right? You may want me to dress up. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's true. I was tempted to just get like one of those masks, because I used to have one of those masks which had a heart. Like, and you could pump blood through the mask and the blood would like go through the mask. I fucking love those things.
Oh, those are kind of creepy and cringy, but they're kind of cool at the same time.
I like it though. And I was tempted to go, if I do it, I'm tempted to the entire night be like, "Arr, I'm a pirate the entire fucking night, you bastards." Like, it'd be kind of funny.
When was the last time you actually went out and trick-or-treated? Now, I mean, obviously we're both adults, so it's been a couple of years, but...
Just a few, yeah. I think the last time I did it was when I was 13 years old.
13? Dang, I tried to do it. I think the last time I did it was when I was 18. I was doing it up until I had no friends to go out. Honestly, I would go out and try to go trick-or-treating today. Well, not today,
yeah.
Like this Halloween.
Yeah.
But I just have no one to do it with, and I'm not going to go alone and just be like this one weird adult that's walking up to doors. Now, if I had like 2 or 3 friends...
Then you will be extra scary just with a Jason mask on. It's just
yeah, right.
Give me the candy. Go down.
Trick or treat. You're 38. I'd be like, no, that's not even close. Ow.
Made me choke on my smoke. Go down. Nah, I feel like Halloween's one of those holidays where I do like it a lot. I'm looking forward to like maybe, like you said, get a mask or something and just have a good time on a night out or something.
That's the important thing. It's, getting and going out and partying. That's really what this holiday is about, is partying and
It's about alcoholism, boys.
That's every holiday, honestly.
That's every weekend.
That's every day past 5. 4 if you're lucky.
The question is it 5 or 4 a.m. or p.m.? You know?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. That's what they say, right?
You wake up at 5 like, well, may as well get started now.
It's 5 p.m.
It's 5 p.m. I prefer the high noon though, because that means at 12 I can just start drinking.
I mean, if you wake up at noon, then you're ready to go.
Exactly. It's like
you just have one ready next to your bed.
Wake up at 11:59 and be like,
that's when you know you have a problem.
I know. Shut it down.
Do you have any good trick-or-treating stories? Like when you went out?
I do, actually. The last time I went out trick-or-treating, we got fireworks launched at us.
Oh, really? By who?
Yeah, so it was in my old estate in Ireland, which you never got to see because at the time we didn't have webcams and phones which actually worked. Mm-hmm. We barely had internet that worked, if I remember correctly. The winter contingency is a whole other story. Which they might have actually remembered from the other week. I can't remember if we mentioned that or not.
I don't think so. One day we'll bring up what that's about.
The winter contingency.
Hey, Halo's coming up like next week, so we can get all into Halo and our experiences with it and what we think of Horge.
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 I like that. It's like Halo Forge, but it's Horge. Horging.
My favorite memory of going out trick-or-treating, it was me, my friend Sean, our friend Tyler, a couple of other people, and we all dressed up as like military guys.
Nice.
And I dressed up as this character named the Captain from this this webcomic called Romantically Apocalyptic.
Okay.
So I dressed up as that guy, and we were just walking around, and we were just, like, I want to say it was like 4 or 5 of us just walking around in like military outfits, and we're just like trick or treat, scaring kids when we're when they're walking by,
Trick or treat loads of the Glock. Good. Did you have guns as props?
No, one of us did. I didn't because I was the captain. I don't need a gun.
That's true. You just need that your classy wit and be like Doctor Who and just be like, I beat everyone with.
I just need a point. Kill him.
Yeah, I made the point. Now shoot him with a sniper. Got a boss and guys on the hill, just killing them.
You never know where we are. There could be 5 of us. There could be 50 of us.
Exactly. You're just the 5 frontmen just chilling out, and then just sniper shots coming from the hill.
Yeah, we're the recon team.
We're the recon team. And then everyone else dies around us, and we laugh.
So we were walking around all night, being semi-intimidating, and then we met up with this girl that I was into at the time, and she was dressed up as a witch. So we just have, like these military men and then just random witch, and we're just like, this doesn't really fit the theme, but what are we going to do?
Just call it the Blair Witch Project, except military themed. It's like Blair Witch Project, except you found the witch and she's just chill.
I mean, it was nice. It was like the first time I really met up with that girl, so it was cool because we ended up dating for a while after that.
Okay, what was her name? If you
Carrie.
Oh, yeah, I remember now, yeah.
Yeah, Carrie.
I remember. But yeah, damn, Halloween. It feels weird to be in Halloween already in this year. For me, like last year to this year feels like it was like a time skip.
You've got a lot going on, so it's understandable that you
I have had a lot going on, you're right. There's been a lot of bullshit to deal with.
When people say that to me, they're like, oh, this year has been so long. I'm just like, really, man? I'm like, Christmas is still another 2 months away. Y'all's perception of time, I feel bad for you if you'd think this year's flying by.
Yeah, this year has definitely been flying for me. It's just been like, God, going places, seeing things, joining university, chilling out there. It's been, like, overall, like, statistically, it's been a good year. But I'm just a depressed cunt, so,
Yeah, understandable. But hey, we all go through kind of slumps in our life where we're not necessarily feeling up to anything.
True.
And we all got off years.
I mean, yeah, sometimes we have like 10 years of schizophrenia, but yeah,
Well, I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. Or even you, honestly, or your doctors or anybody. It's just something you gotta deal with.
It's just something I gotta deal with, yeah. And not to mention, the medication I'm on now is pretty stable now. It's pretty lit.
That's good.
So yeah.
Well, it's nice to be, having something that you're comfortable with.
Oh yeah, speaking of stuff that's lit, I ordered my weed finally.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's ordered and it's gonna be here next week in my undisclosed location number 2, which we're not going to talk about.
Well, that's good. What did you end up ordering?
I ended up ordering Panama Red, which is a really, really apparently like strong strain. It can like make you have nearly psychedelic effects, which I was like, hell yeah, sign me up for that shit. That's like my life all the time. And then I also ordered aloe haze.
Oh, I've never heard of that one.
And they're both sativas, so hopefully they can give me some energy.
Yeah, I've never heard of that haze. I've heard of like purple and other ones, but not that.
I think it's from like the aloe vera plant, and then it's like mixed with that and haze. It's meant to be quite refreshing and uplifting. I can't remember though exactly. I just ordered it because it was what was available from the K.I.S. team.
Oh, okay. Is that where you ordered it from K.I.S? Or is that the brand?
Yeah, K.I.S. is the brand. It's who I order from online here, and completely legal, by the way. But yeah.
Oh yeah. We're gonna leave it right there because nobody wants to incriminate everybody. It's definitely legal where you live, and you didn't break any laws.
Yep. Yeah, I did nothing wrong. Yeah, I'm just thinking like the world's been a bit of a crazy place still. As we go through our podcast weeks, it seems to just keep getting a little bit more wacko.
Yeah, you hear that like Kanye has kind of like self-destructed.
I heard very little about it, but I know that he's like, you're gonna have to tell me about that because that sounds fucking funny. Whenever Ye gets into trouble, I'm just like, this is gonna be funny. God, no.
Okay, so obviously he was engaged and married to Kim Kardashian for quite a while, a lot longer than most of us would have thought that would have been possible.
Yeah, true.
So I guess, trouble in paradise, blah, blah, blah. Kanye's crazy. She's full of herself. They kind of split up. And it has not done Kanye even the slightest bit of good. I
can't imagine he's doing very stable things now that he's broken up with his ex.
Well, that's what made him delete most of his name. He's like, I'm just Ye now. Forget all the rest of my name.
Yeah.
Forget the Con, the West, everything.
I'm just Ye.
I'm just Ye. What a joke. So, according to some research that I've done, which is not something I typically do, but I was interested in this tweet that I saw him say. I think it was a tweet. I don't know. It was a tweet.
Okay.
Where Kanye says that he has lost $2 billion in like a day.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he says, I lost $1 billion in one day and I'm still alive. Apparently on Instagram.
Okay.
So I guess after he broke up with his wife, he's just, like I said, gone into kind of just a spiral. I don't want to say it's psychotic because Kanye's always been kind of outside of everybody's lens of what they think he's gonna do.
Yeah, he's a very controversial character. He's just part of who he is. Yeah.
Exactly. For all we know, this is just another part of his character and his business that he's trying to build up. It might just be another arc. However, it's pretty hard to say you're building your business up if you sacrifice all the deals you've had lately. For example, I think it was just the beginning of the month. He was walking around wearing White Lives Matters shirt at this Paris fashion show. And, he's just drawing attention to himself. And then he goes, apparently, to Los Angeles' Skid Row and sent them a box of shirts to the homeless people. And, people are like, what are you, like, mocking these people? Because he's backlashing and saying, well, Black Lives Matter is a scam, which is something we could get into because I kind of agree. Not the idea behind it, but the actual organization definitely seems to be a scam.
I see. Okay.
So then a couple of days later, he tweeted out on Twitter, which was his last tweet before his account was deleted.
Oh, go on.
I'm going DeathCon 3 on all capitals Jewish people. So he's going DeathCon 3 on Jewish people.
Was he just planning to get cancelled? Was that his ideal? Like, what did he expect as that as an outcome? Jesus Christ.
If you look up a picture of him right now, he looks pretty rough, man. I can't tell, like I said, because he's always been kind of outside of what people think he's going to do. I can't tell if this is all planned.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it was some part of some like psychotic next level plan, and then in his next His next level might just be to he wants to probably boycott like YouTube and all those places. Like remember Andrew Tate, like he got cancelled off of all those platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like more and more people are going to try and who are controversial figures who like to speak out against the system and like be weird and like whatever. Like especially right wing people, they often decide to like say very controversial shit and then be like mad when they get banned for it. It's like, okay, then make your own platform, and then they did. They made Rumble, and they made a few other platforms which barely anyone who likes that kind of good shit uses. So
the problem is we have big tech that's fighting against this stuff. We have platforms like Gab and Poll that Apple and Google are actively shooting off of their platforms because they are, quote, bad for business. It's an app. Your store is to promote apps. My app has not violated any. It's a fucking chat program.
That's true, yeah.
Hate speeches on Twitter, hate speeches on Reddit, hate speeches on Facebook. All of these are still available on your app store. But because mine isn't
up to the agenda, basically,
strongly is moderated, you're not going to allow me to be on your platform. It's another issue.
Big tech is becoming a big problem, yeah.
Speaking of these big techs, Kanye was also banned from Instagram right afterwards. I don't know how fast afterwards, but afterwards.
Yeah.
Because he posted a screenshot of a text he sent to some guy saying, I'm going to use you as an example to show the Jewish people that told you to call me that no one can threaten or influence me. So basically he's threatening this guy, saying he's going to use him as an example. And it's then Adidas and Gap who have, deals with Kanye because he has shoes and clothes and stuff. So he's got these deals to put his merch out in the stores.
Of course, yeah, he's got brands, yeah.
Adidas and the Gap have cut ties with him.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting. Which, like I said, it would suck for Kanye if I wasn't sure this is part of his plan, because the companies are keeping all like intellectual rights to all designs and existing products.
Wait, how can they do that? That's his right.
Not if he signed a contract saying that they keep the rights to it.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, there you go with it. That's the other thing is that I don't understand is like he's got money for lawyers, right?
Well, I don't know if he just keeps pissing away his money as fast as... If he lost $2 billion in a day, if that's true, he's now out of the billionaires club. Forbes estimated recently that his net worth is down to $400 million.
Yeah, he sounds like he's going to be in some big trouble pretty quick. But you know what this does mean? It means one good thing. Maybe out of all of this, he'll eventually switch around, go to mental rehab. Then we'll have a good Kanye album. Who knows? Like, you never know, right?
Yeah, the weird, like, godly stuff he's been putting out, it's not bad, but it's definitely not something I would listen to more than once.
Yeah, it's more like a one-time thing, yeah, I get you. Like, his old shit was so fucking fire, some of it. Like, I don't think it's, like, next level or anything, but, like, some of it was really fun to listen to. Like, the album he did with Jay-Z. Can't remember the name of it now. I think it was Something of the Throne. Watch the Throne, that was in 2011.
Well, that was back in the day. The new one that he put out, I think it was Donda.
Oh yeah, he's yeah, another one, yeah.
See, now Donda was kind of like a throwback to his weird creative spark he has, because the song is weird, but you're like, this feels like Kanye. The song is like an homage to his mother.
Okay.
As many times as Donda is said through the song is how old his mother was when he died, and it's the same BPM that a human heartbeat beats.
That's interesting. So he tries to like make it call back to his mom, yeah.
Yeah, and it's got like a meaning to it, and it's like a weird song, and you're just like, why do you keep saying Donda? And like if you don't look into it, it's just another weird Kanye song. But that particularly was like, okay, yeah, this feels like Kanye. It's not him just being like, praise the Lord. There's nothing against that. It's just not my flavor of music.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure in the Donda album as well, he's got Praise God as like one of his songs and stuff and all that stuff. And
precisely.
Exactly. No offense to anyone who's Christian. I used to be Christian myself, like for quite a while.
Me too.
Like it's one of those where like, it's just not for me, like you said, yeah.
So apparently he started a academy, air quotes, called Donda Academy, which was a private school in Simi Valley, which I don't know where that is. I'm just reading from my notes.
Okay.
Apparently it was a private school where there's not really any teachers or anything like that. I would have to do some research on that itself, because it seems like a
scheme.
Well, like a scam?
Yeah.
Yeah. It probably is real as Trump's university.
You learn from the best,
Yeah, I mean, I guess he did. He was hanging out with Trump for a while there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true. And he wore the MAGA hat and all that, didn't he?
Yeah. And that was when people thought he was absolutely crazy. It's like, so if he was absolutely crazy then, what's he doing now? Is he just like a cartoon character? Like, what's going on?
I mean, yeah, like, what I find kind of funny, though, is, well, funny, but kind of bad, is that we're supposed to have freedom of speech as a platform generally across all platforms. We're meant to have discourse and debate. And instead of us having that, we now have big tech companies who just shut down anyone who speaks slightly against an agenda. It's like, no, that means your agenda becomes authoritarian and totalitarian. It becomes problematic. Because even if someone's speaking absolute misinformation, it's better to debunk their information then. Because then instead of just shutting them down, because then it looks suspicious like you are doing the wrong thing.
I would agree, but problem is, statistically speaking, if you present people with facts, they are more likely to hold firm in their beliefs than to sway to your side. It's like the absolute reverse psychology. You're like, these are the facts, this is how it is, and this is what it really is. And they're like, yeah, I don't believe you. It's like, it's not a matter of belief, it's the facts.
Yeah, I guess part of the problem is as well, like, at the moment, like, with COVID being a massive issue across the world, obviously, part of the problem I have with COVID is that the way we handled it was really bad. Like, there's loads of people dying of suicide in general in my country. And people who have had massively been mentally disaffected by this problem. And it's like, lockdowns don't do good for people in the long term, and people don't even understand the long-term ramifications of all this. On top of that, we have the problem with the vaccines supposedly not being tested properly. It's come out now that they just weren't tested. They just weren't tested. They were tested like 5 or 10 mice max. It's like, so basically you didn't test the vaccines.
Oh yeah, they were rushed super fast.
It just makes no sense. Yeah, they pull them out super fast, and that's great and all, but like, and it's proven to have worked to some extent. But it makes me think like how much of the figures were inflated. Because in my country and in America, they put down deaths on people's certificates as COVID, even if they had symptoms of COVID. But like, they could have a lung infection, and they put it down as COVID. Just to inflate the figures.
Yeah, COVID is a sham.
It really is.
It's a real affliction, but it is in my opinion, I don't want to, spew anything that I believe is fact, but in my opinion, it's a manufactured weapon against humanity.
Oh, definitely. It was made in the Wuhan labs. It was 100% made in the lab.
There's not other ways to look away. Yeah. There's no other way to really look at it if you look at all the information provided, especially with that when you can link all of the admittance from Cuomo himself, who funded all of this shit.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think it's what's coming down to reality as a whole right now is that the transference of wealth between rich and poor is going further and further and further towards the rich. And if we don't fight back as people to be like, hey, all these other problems, take a back burner, look at the rich people and be like, hey, fuck you, pay your taxes and give us better wages.
Oh yeah? That's a pretty good idea. How did Liz Truss do with that? Truss.
I mean, Liz Truss was a terrible PM immediately. Right off the bat, she was terrible.
So she stepped down. We were going to record last week, like right after it happened.
Yeah.
And it didn't end. We didn't end up doing it.
Man, she had the fan so fast.
She is now the shortest running prime minister in your country's history. The previous person, I don't know who it was. I don't remember the name. But was only like 159 days, something around there.
Yep. And he died of a heart attack, so he had a good excuse.
And now she's cut down to 44. Yeah, beat my record, losers. Get in here. Do 21 days. I dare you.
What sucks is now she has allowance to be getting basically a fund of money because she served as prime minister and because it's like severance pay, essentially, like kind of like severance pay. But now she gets paid every single month, even after the term is finished. Which is ridiculous. And the other part that which is so ridiculous is the Conservative Party in my country have now... They've put in Rishi Sunak as a person would be a very... it would be insulting to other people who are actually people and human. He's a cretin of a person. Like, he's a horrible person.
Who is that?
So he's planning to basically prop up the economy from what I can tell, he's propping up the economy and he's going to try and bring it back to normal, shall we say. But the problem is that the governments are kind of just a big distraction from the bigger problem, which is BlackRock, which I've talked about, I think, on a previous podcast episode, maybe a little bit.
Briefly.
Very briefly, but yeah. basically BlackRock, among other firms, are investment firms that control the status of the economy mostly in the West. And they have massive influence in the East, but they're also controlled by the East at the same time. So there's a lot of problems there in terms of trying to keep wealth under control and not just be all transferred to the richest people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, we're lucky in some respects that we live in countries, at least in this world, where we have some civil liberties to some extent. Within places like China, you basically don't get to speak out against the government. You have no freedom of speech. If you say something bad about the CCP, you basically either disappear or you lose social credit points. If you lose social credit points in the Chinese system, then you just lose your life. So
Europe is pretty sketchy on that in general with free speech because you can be arrested for saying stuff online.
Yeah, crazy.
Did you ever hear about Count Dankula?
Yeah, I heard about him before, yeah. I don't know the full story of him. He seemed like a suspicious character anyway, but the way it was handled was still bad.
Count Dankula is just a regular old dude. He is, I believe he's Irish. Pretty sure. No. Count Dankula is Scottish? I don't know. I can't tell the difference sometimes.
He's from somewhere within the United Isles, yeah.
He's a Rish.
He's an Ish.
He's an Ish.
American-ish.
Yeah, I don't know which one, which Ish he is. But he was with his girlfriend.
Oh yeah, and the pug did the Nazi salute. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, he went above and beyond and trained his dog as a joke to do the Nazi salute. Yeah. And it's just really simple. Instead of responding to this command, when I say this, you do this. I mean, it's really simple.
Then he got cancelled for it, basically, right?
He got cancelled and arrested and put in prison for
a joke.
What is ostensibly a joke? There's no other way to look at this. And you know what? Fuck it. Even if it wasn't a joke, even if this man was deliberately training pugs to make a pug Nazi army, so what? So fucking what? That's not a crime.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're not arresting or holding to account Saudi Arabia for their war crimes, or America for their war crimes, or anyone in the world for their war crimes. These are far worse things than arresting someone for some social bullshit.
No, but you say something bad on the internet, Chris, we're gonna come to your house. Watch out. We're gonna freeze your bank accounts.
I mean, just wait, because just wait. After this podcast gets published, someone's gonna report me, and I'm gonna get fucking arrested.
No, we're gonna freeze your bank accounts. We're gonna drag your parents to court, and we're gonna make your whole family a giant pariah because you said you wanted to nuke Africa when you were 10.
Why'd you have to tell them that?
Oops, I snitched.
You snitched? Nah. On a real note, it was when I was 14, actually.
Whatever.
And I said it as a joke. I was also very ill at the time, so I pleaded insanity.
Your country is, I say your country. My country is fucked up for that too. I mean, technically we have freedom of speech, but we have so many people that are like, freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom of consequences. The fuck it doesn't. That's what freedom means, motherfucker.
Yeah, freedom would mean like it's free of. Because people like free from consequences, like, well, yeah, that's the whole point. You can say whatever you want and not get hurt by it, because it's words.
Yeah.
It's words. Get the fuck over it. It's literally someone speaking from their mouth a bunch of bullshit. If you get offended by what someone says, walk away from them.
Walk away or come up with a counter argument and have a debate with them.
Yeah, or if it's on the internet, why do you care? It's a random post somewhere on the internet. Stop caring.
Right, hit block and just exit the app and you're good. Oops, they can't ever hurt you again.
Yeah, or just like, this guy's a dumbass. Downvote, comment something stupid against them, like be like, you're really stupid.
You don't even need to comment. That takes time. Just hit the block button.
You just hit the I'm not interested in this button. You know what I mean? Like, I know people just take shit too seriously in life. It's the way I see it. Like with that kind of stuff, like there's bigger issues, bigger fish to fry, quite literally, because people are starving across the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really affecting my side of the world yet, but I mean, it's only a matter of time. We were affected with like shortages and supply chain issues and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Throughout the pandemic, especially with the Ever Given and the second boat that company drifted into the canal.
The second one.
Yeah, two from the same. I swear to God, 3 strikes and you're out. If you guys drift another boat into this canal, you guys can't use this canal. You got to go around the long way.
And then we'd all be fucked because then we'd have nothing.
No, you just got to go around the long way. You can't use the canal.
Yeah, that might cause a few more supply issues.
Or build your own canal. Jerks.
Jerks. Good on, yeah.
Stuff your own boats in it.
The world's just a crazy place. Like, with global warming on the rise, which is, yes, caused by humanity, but also caused by planetary shift of magnetic fields and shit. And also because the sun is also, like, doing weird shit, apparently. Apparently it's been doing, like, some sunspot issues I saw in some fucking article. Anyway.
Yeah, you know, the sun acts up sometimes.
It does.
He'd be burpy. He got acid reflux.
In theory, we could get a solar flare radiation at some point and it'll just wipe out all electronics. So don't worry about it, guys. Live life while you can. Good though.
Hey, I'm still hoping and crossing my fingers for the gamma burst. I want all of humanity to instantly die.
Well, we just get what I'm crossing my hands for is like, we just get this, like this read, like at NASA they get this reading. Oh, I wonder what this reading is, and then just like immediately afterwards, it's a supernova from a star, and you know how you get the gamma spike radiation from like either way, from the north and south poles of the star. Just that comes by, and it's like just annihilates everything. It's like, oh, well, okay.
It'd be over before anyone knew what happened.
Straight up, that would suck. That would be really shit.
Have you seen that movie, Don't Look Up?
Yeah, I have actually. That was a really good film.
That movie is super good. Yeah. I'm super happy with how the movie ended.
Yeah, same. It was good.
Because that's pretty realistic. They try, I think, 4 different attempts, and all of them get fucked up by various things.
By corporatism, basically.
Mostly greed.
Mostly greed, yeah, greed. Like, hey, we could blow up this thing, but we're gonna try and mine it instead and get all the rich resources from it and get all the money. It's like, okay, Mr. Burns.
I really liked the end of that movie.
Oh yeah, when they get off the plane, when they get off the ship.
The tech guy, he's just like, everything's fine. I'm gonna go use the bathroom. Oh, don't worry, I'll be right back. And then the president, she's also like, yeah, I also have to use the restroom. And they both leave, and then like most of the staff keeps running out.
Son is just waiting there.
And her, the president's son, who is like the
most douchebaggy character you could write.
He's some sort of staff member. I think he's like the Secretary of Defense, because he's like a general or something. But anyway, he's just sitting there and he's like, oh, they're definitely coming back, right? Meanwhile, they're escaping off the planet on their little like Genesis Ark ship and shoot off into space.
Yeah, kind of messed, honestly.
And then, meanwhile, the rest of the entire planet just is like, oh, we're just going to chill and just get hit by a meteor and die. And I really like how it ended in, like, slow motion with the house exploding on them. It's a really great movie.
Yeah, it was really good.
They cut out all the stuff that didn't need to happen. There was, like, a ton of time skips because it's like, do you really care about the social relationships between these people? Or do you want to see what happens when the fucking meteor hits? It's like, I want to see about the meteor. That's what this movie's about. It's a comet, my bad.
Comet, meteor... thing which is going to annihilate all humanity. Who cares?
Giant rock. Chick-celeb 2.
Chick-celeb 2. Fuck's sake. It's literally just Kanye. Not Kanye. Jesus. Not Kanye's ass. God no. I was going to say it's Kim Kardashian. It's just in the shape of Kim Kardashian's ass coming from space and just annihilates all of the planet with Kim Kardashian's ass.
You would like that, wouldn't you?
That'd be kind of funny. Not going to lie.
Be like Rick and Morty with all the giant heads in the sky, but all of her giant asses.
God no. They're just twerking.
I'm showing you what I've got.
We're twerking on your planet. Boom, boom, boom. Just like crushes a city.
Cracks it in half instantly.
That would suck. Biggest ass quake you'll ever know. Get out. Oh man. I must admit though, like the world has just been like a whole lot of what the fuck lately. Like I didn't think we would lose all of our civil liberties just basically by people being too distracted from the reality of the world.
What civil liberties are you talking about?
Like having any money. My country is currently being bled dry of their money.
Oh, well, I mean, that's been happening for years and years.
Yeah, it's been happening, but now it's happening at an accelerated rate, and everyone's like, there's a cost of living crisis. It's because we're having all these problems with Russia. No, it's because the fucking companies, the energy companies are extorting us. It's essentially what's happening, which is being extorted across all of Europe by big, massive companies that are like, oh yeah, and their profits just keep sailing through the roof and we're not taxing them, so like, who cares, right?
I honestly think that's a secondary issue, because I believe the primary issue is the fact that these institutions that are in charge of
moderating,
well, we'll just say printing money, because that's what they basically do.
Yeah.
These institutions are systematically wiping out any value that anything you have is, if it's liquid. Any form of cash you're holding is by the second becoming less and less valuable.
Definitely, yeah, all the time. It's why all my money is in stock. like any money I have, I just immediately put into my investment account in a S&P 500 Vanguard account. I don't save money anymore. I don't put it in my bank account.
It's not worth it. You need to.
And the way I see it is like, if the stock market crashes, that means everyone's fucked anyway. If it does crash, then okay, I've lost money. It's not that much money anyway, so who cares? Yeah, it's fucked. Crypto. Oh yeah, apparently my country is going to be making a central digital bank currency, CDBC, I think it was what it was called, where we are making it so that we have basically like a crypto-like currency for our own country.
Which can be really good and which can possibly save most countries if implemented correctly.
But it won't be implemented correctly because all it will do, here's the problem with it, right? It means the government has direct control and direct analysis of everyone's bank accounts at all times and everything they spend on all the time, which they already do to some extent, but it means that you can't use cash anymore if that's a thing.
Fiat currency in the next 50 to 100 years is likely going to be obsolete entirely. So we need to figure out, well, I mean, at the rate that we're destroying our own value for everything.
The West, yes, but the East, however, they're making their own currency. I don't know if you've noticed. Because they're making a gold-backed currency, essentially, is the idea. They're going back to the old standard. There's been stockpiling a lot of it.
Well, even then, gold doesn't have much value now.
It has a huge amount of value now. It has one of the highest values it's ever had because of the war. Because of everything that's been happening with the war, and also because when stock markets and instabilities happen in the market, actual hard assets become higher in value.
Naturally.
I get what you're saying. On the Western's front, I feel like digital is becoming more and more prominent as a whole. Definitely. Mm-hmm. But I'd say I don't know if it's the right way to go, though. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there's not a lot of alternatives that exist or have even been thought of.
I get what you mean, yeah. That is the problem, is we all complain about the system, but there's no one comes up with a better system all of the time. Mind you, a better system would just be make poor people have a standard of living which is better.
People come up with solutions for things all the time when they get bought out and crushed by these companies that will affect their profits. We have thought of several different alternate energy solutions that have been completely crushed because they're inefficient or whatever.
Yeah, true. Or they're just these are too ineffective to work, so we're going to buy you. Then why did you buy out the company and get rid of them?
Exactly. If you thought it was going to fail, then you should have let them fail on their own instead of crushing them financially.
The other thing, though, which I thought was interesting is that people say petroleum, like oil, is a non-renewable resource. False. It can be a renewable resource. It's been proven by many scientists across Europe that it can be actually renewed, not fully, but I think it's 95%. You can take the carbon extract of it and then pump it into a system. I can't remember exactly what the system's called, so someone will have to fact check me on this if they want to. Essentially, they made it so that you can renew the actual oil. But if this came out into the market, then it would immediately plummet the price of oil. And if it plummets the price of oil, that means the entire world economy gets affected by it.
That's convertible energy, not renewable, because once the oil itself has been burned, the oil itself doesn't regenerate. You convert that burnt gases and excess material into an additional fuel source. It's not like wind where it's just infinite.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, convertible, not renewable. Yeah, wrong word. But yeah. There's no such thing as infinite energy anyway, because energy can only be converted. Can never be created or destroyed, can only be converted from one form to another, but yeah.
Infinite in the sense that it's all, the planet itself is generating. Hydroelectric. If you have falling water is infinite energy. Not infinite, unlimited. It'll as long as the water is constantly falling down, it will continually produce X amount of power.
Yeah, it can keep coming back every time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we should be doing more stuff like that. I mean, green energy, it takes a lot to build up, but
exactly, yeah, that's more of a dependable source than most things.
In 10,000 years, if we had all green energy,
solar power,
we would have less of a carbon footprint.
True.
Problem is, it costs a lot of money, effort, and fighting these companies that don't want it to happen.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the main thing, is finding the companies.
Something that I think is great is these companies these oil companies and stuff that can't, I believe the statistic is they lose about 40% of their power generated because they have nowhere to store it and no one to sell it to. So 40% of power generated it just goes nowhere.
Wasted on the grid. Yeah, it goes nowhere.
So we have these crypto miners, specifically these hordes of Bitcoin people that go to these different countries and locations and set up generators to mine these gases and excess power from these companies. And now that these companies have someone to sell it to, it benefits them. So they kind of let these people do this.
It becomes like a good leverage system for like making it work.
Mm.
Like everyone benefits in that respect in some way. Well, I say everyone, the people that are doing it benefit.
Well, now that we gave these companies this idea, the companies themselves are doing it. They might say, we have 20% extra power we can give you. But they really have 27%, and they're using 7% of that, or that 7% cap to mine their own and make their own money.
Themselves to mine their own stuff and do their own things, yeah.
Good, I mean, I guess. Stop wasting the power. If you can use it to, generate wealth, that's good. Even if it's for yourself, you can't just sit on that wealth forever. That's not going to do anything for you. It's just imaginary if you don't transfer it to something.
Yeah. That's part of the problem I have with like a lot of holding stock people, like when they just hoard their money and they'll just keep reinvesting it and get more and more and more. It's like it just props up the market further and further and further, which is good because it keeps the market healthy in some respect, like in terms of keeping it actually afloat. I feel like the market at the moment is so inflated absurdly that it just needs to drop it. And the main thing that needs to happen is just wages need to go up. Across the world, wages, like workers' wages, just have to go up. The inflation rate for every product. Like I went to Sainsbury's today. A pack of chicken was £4, which is like $6. I'm like, bruh, it's chicken. Like less than 2 years ago, that would have been £2. Like it's like absurd. And then meanwhile, the government's just like, oh yeah, inflation's only gone up by this amount. It's like, no, it's gone up by way more than that, you fuckers. None of the governments are living in reality of like, hey, companies are fucking everyone over.
Well, that's definitely true, but you can say that for years and years. I say but, I mean, that doesn't diminish what you're saying. It's still shitty.
Exactly, it's just become, but the problem is it's like, it was already happening, but now it's become such an established thing that people just don't care that it's happening.
Which my statement just kind of proved, yeah, like, it's just like, whatever,
exactly, yeah.
It's a problem, it's always been a problem. That's not the right attitude to have about it.
Exactly, it's got to be a case of, no, we need to stop them, and how do we stop them? As the youth of the countries that we're in, we have to band together eventually. We have to stop looking at random social media memes and just eventually be like, hey, maybe we can make our own political parties and try and make up some power differences. But the problem with that is, as you say, people get shut down so easily. Like it's really hard to like want to change a system which is already so inherently biased against change.
Absolutely. And even if you get into a point where you're able to, you still have to then convince the masses.
That's the main thing, is you need public figures to speak out against these massive institutions. But when they do that, they get cancelled. But I think the main problem is like the approach a lot of people take isn't very moderate. So people keep wanting these massive changes, like communism, for example. There's a massive communist base in my country of trying to make communism like, not massive, but like there's a lot of people that believe in communism, believe in the idea that we could, if implemented correctly, it would work. I'd say, well, yeah, if you want to get communism to work, you need to first accept socialism and slowly change things, because the more drastic a change, the less likely it is to happen. Like it's crazy.
I don't know about all that. I don't really have an opinion on that specifically.
I get you.
So I think we could pivot back into something I might have an opinion on,
sure,
which is, what stocks are you invested in currently?
So I can pull up, I'm currently, it's called the S&P 500 account.
Yeah,
which is just the top 500 companies within the UK.
Yeah.
So I just do that, is the way I do it. If I am to invest in specific stuff, I would invest in Apple, I would invest in Google, because they are always ever growing and they've got such a massive market share. And honestly, one of the biggest companies which everyone keeps forgetting about is Microsoft. They're fucking huge. I hate them because the way that they are, Bill Gates is systematically buying up farmland and doing a lot of shady shit, to put it simply. I don't like it, but if you did want to invest in things, then...
Gates isn't in charge of Microsoft anymore.
No, he's not in charge of it, but he has massive stock share, and he's associated heavily with Microsoft. I think he owns still a huge amount of it. I know he's not in charge of Microsoft, but as a point, he is like he got most as well from Microsoft in the initial basis.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously.
I think he's still heavily associated with Microsoft. I'm not entirely certain, actually. You might be right.
He's pretty stepped away from the company as a whole now.
Fair enough. Well, either way, he's got enough wealth to be causing massive issues, but that's the same with most billionaires, I suppose.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's now going on and doing his own projects, which can be considered worse, because before he was just kind of focusing on Microsoft and making Microsoft big and strong and, making a computer monopoly across the entire earth. Now he's focusing on, like you said, buying up shit and doing weird stuff that he really has no business being involved in.
Exactly. That's the main thing.
I say he doesn't have any business being involved in.
Like,
He's a billionaire. He can be involved in whatever he wants to. But at the end of the day, uh, what are you doing? Why?
But there's not that many stories about him like on public media. That's the other problem, is that media as a whole is so controlled.
That's good though. People involve themselves too much in shit and end up sometimes hurting their own company. A perfect example is Mark Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg, yeah. And Musk, yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg. If that dude stepped down, Meta would easily be a much better publicly received company if they didn't have this weird
alien man,
Android lizard name.
Android lizard man, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially with now that he's like literally the company's face. Be one or the other. Be the front guy or be the leader. Don't be both, because then you've got your priority split, and then you end up being this weird clown man who has a PS2 looking avatar talking to a bunch of people with floating bodies.
Yeah, did you see his original interview way back when? Where he's just talking about, I think he's just talking about like food the entire interview. Like it was in his like he's talking about like a brisket or something, and he just couldn't stop talking about brisket. I was like,
smoked meats.
What?
Smoked meats.
Smoked. Oh, that was it. Yeah, smoked meats. Goddamn, I couldn't remember.
Whether or not he involves himself in the company, he needs to stop being the face of the company. We need somebody clean and cut if they want to have any sort of respect with the company. I mean, they changed their whole branding because people are like, Facebook is a bad company. Okay, we're not Facebook, we're Meta. It's like, okay, well, I guess, sure, why not? That works on a shit ton of people. People instantly change their attitude about Facebook's parent company, Facebook, because it's called Meta now.
It does. It works annoyingly well. It's silly how easily people just forget about all the problems of the world. Me included, I'm guilty of it too, but like, when you have no influence or control over the problems, it's like, why would you even let them affect you as a whole? Which is partly how they get you.
Yeah.
Remember I was saying about the being forgetful and like not wanting to make a change? Mm-hmm. That's how they get you, is like if you've got no control or power, it's realizing we do have the power, we are the people, we can eventually bring it back to us if we so choose.
Number one thing is voting with your wallets, which a lot of people don't do.
That is true. A lot of people don't do that. I mean, I do it to some extent, but even still, I don't have enough money to be voting with my wallet massively, so...
Yeah, sometimes you get just, narrowed into a corner, and...
Yeah. That's why drugs are a thing.
That's what they want, because that's how they keep the poor, is because they produce products in a window that only people of this caliber can afford, and it keeps those people in that caliber because it's unhealthy, it's unproductive, it's non-valuable goods.
Exactly, yeah. That's why I'm just, like I said, focusing most of my money, if I do get money, like for my work, for example, I just put that straight into investment accounts so I can try and eventually build wealth over the next 30 years and then have something to show for it.
Are you working on any cryptos? Like getting into any of that? Are you holding any?
I'm staying away from that most of the time because I usually just use crypto to get other stuff like weed and stuff.
Are you holding any crypto currently?
Not currently, no. I probably should. I should be getting
You should. I mean, even there's like all sorts of apps where you can buy like parts of a crypto, so you don't have to buy like a whole coin.
I know, I've got one. It's called Coinbase. I did hold some for a while, but then I needed the money, so I ended up withdrawing it. So
understandable. I mean, that's what it's there for. Is for whenever you need it. I would try to divert a little bit of your money into that. The good mindset to have whenever investing in crypto is a little bit different than the stock market.
Yeah, because
the stock market, you know that it'll always have some inherent value.
Whereas crypto can crash.
Even if it goes down to like a penny a stock, it's still, you're still holding a part of a company.
As well. Exactly. It depends on who you invest in. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, no matter what, you're still holding stock. You're still holding a proof that I own part of this company.
True. Yeah, true.
Whereas if you own crypto, that thing can go to such low fractions of value that it is essentially worthless and it could never recover. And it doesn't matter because you're holding a spot on a blockchain. You're not holding a part of a company.
Yeah, true.
So that's where you need to realize that any money that you do invest in crypto, it's gone. Just believe you just threw that money in the trash can. It's permanently gone.
And just whatever happens to it kind of thing.
I spent that money on this experience. I'm not holding this money in a different form anymore.
I get you. At the same time, I'm very interested to start after university doing the day trading idea of trying to get into trading between companies every day and just looking at that every day and trying to look into like what rises, what falls in correlation with what, and just trying to make money that way. Whilst obviously working, but yeah.
That's good. I mean, it's good to have a like a roadmap planned out for your finances.
Exactly, that's the main thing. I think that's the main thing I need to learn now, is that I'm 26 years old. I need to start having some kind of roadmap to like when I'm 40 and I'm like wanting a house and shit. But then again,
yeah, I'm really starting to lock that down. Over
good.
The next couple weeks, we have enrollment for health insurance, so I'm going to re-secure my health insurance, and then I'm going to talk to my boss about opening my retirement account with them, and then I'm going to put as much of it into it as I can. I've already started saving money for different things that I want.
That's good for the PC and stuff, yeah.
Well, that I'm going to finance that. I'm not saving money for that.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. I meant the Switch was the first thing, sorry.
Well, that I'm also not saving money for because I'm buying that straight out of my taxes. What I'm saving money for right now is I want a Oculus Quest 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's only like $400 right now. It's super cheap.
Fair enough. Can you hook that up to your PC in any way, or how does that work?
You can, but it's also completely a self-contained device.
That's cool.
I could go play it anywhere in the house.
That's nice.
Or I could walk around my building.
Fair enough, yeah. That's good.
So, yeah, I really want the Quest 2 because it's cheaper than it's ever been.
Do you remember that device? Go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it.
Okay, I was going to say, do you remember that device, the Microsoft HoloLens that they showed off in E3 in 2015?
Yeah,
that was so cool.
Scrapped.
If they scrapped it now?
I believe it's completely put on hold. You could do some quick research on it, but you know what I say.
Because it looked so fucking cool when they were like showing like not VR but AR, where it's like augmented reality, and you can have like a table in front of you which has like a big Minecraft map on it. Like you have the map of Minecraft in front of you.
I still wish that was a thing. That would be so
imagine having that for Halo,
especially since we both, or at least I've gotten back into Minecraft recently.
Oh yeah, fair. I've been getting into Minecraft. I forgot. Yeah, that's been really fun for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, no, HoloLens is still big, and it's sold 300,000 HoloLens units. Apparently, it's used in a lot of like industry-based stuff, like design and like understanding manufacturing, engineering, and things.
All right, we'll have to do some research on that and look into it.
That'd be really good for next week. Yeah, definitely, it'd be good to have that as a topic for next week, as like niche tech
and stuff that's coming out, because Forge is coming out. We have the Dead Space remake, the Callisto Protocol. There's good movies coming out, which we can talk about. We should go plan another trip to the movies, obviously separately, but we should go see another movie.
Try and see something. That'd be good, yeah. Really good. And not to mention, I saw you were getting into videos for Get the Fuck Out or GTFO.
Yeah, that game looks super cool.
So good. I was looking into it as well after you posted the video. I was like, oh my god, this looks fun.
It looks like Left 4 Dead expert mode combined.
Yeah, pretty
with,
much. Yeah.
I think it's like the Anachrysis. I don't know. It's another one of those like Left 4 Dead games.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. You know what I find interesting as well? I don't know if you've seen this, but the Steam Scream Fest is on now.
Ooh, Halloween sale, spooky.
So it's a big Halloween sale, spooky. Yeah, and so for anyone that doesn't know, get yourselves on that and try and have a look. And the reason why I was mentioning GTFO is because GTFO is on sale currently.
How much is it?
It is currently 25% off, and it is, in my currency, it's £26.24, so I imagine $30.
What, about $30? That's not
so
bad.
So it'd be kind of fun if we could play that at some point. I don't know if your PC can run it yet, but that'd be good.
Is there a demo?
There is not, from what I can tell.
Okay. Worst comes to worst, I can buy it and then refund it on Steam.
That is true.
We gotta see if we can get Peter into it. Because based on that video that I sent,
it's very co-op heavy, yeah.
Yeah, you can't do almost any of the missions with 2 players, but most missions you could squeeze through with 3. So if we could get 3 people, we could probably, just like elite gangster bust through the map with a bot.
Knowing me and you, though, we could probably get through it with 2 if we had enough determination.
We just have the bots on, don't attack anything unless it's attacking me mode.
I remember, didn't we do Lasso up until Exodus on Reach?
Oh, and Halo Reach, yeah.
We did it right until Exodus, and then we were like, these stupid-ass grunts are the worst thing to exist, so we quit. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. Not to mention, No, yeah, right. The grunts, the grenades.
There was the grenades. Because it was like at the beginning of the mission, and we got...
Just the endless grenades.
We'd get through that hallway, And I was being my stupid teenage-ass self and having my mental health problems and being like, there's no grunts around this corner, and you're like, no, there is. I'm like, there's not. It's just immediately dead.
There's like 50 suicide grunts, dude. I'm telling you.
It's like,
I'm telling you. Boom.
And so, yeah, so eventually we got around to like halfway through the mission, and like, we'd have to do a sprint tactic where we'd sprint around the corner and sprint back around the corner and then try and hold back. Then we ran out of ammo, and that became a problem.
Yeah, famine skull. Real nice.
Really not fun. Really not fun. The one skull we didn't play with, though, because I refused to, was blind. I can never play with blind.
Ooh, speaking of Halo, co-op is also dropping next week or the week after.
Yes, that means I can finally experience the campaign.
Yeah, we can finally play the campaign.
That'd be good. That'd be so good. When does that drop? I
believe it's the 8th, November 8th. I believe the Forge,
that'd be really good.
The Forge beta and the co-op campaign.
That'd be good, yeah. I'd like that.
I think the co-op campaign is slightly limited, but I mean, whatever. I don't care.
As long as I get to experience the story with you, I'm not too fussed.
Yeah, because you've not played it or watched anything on it still, right?
I've not. I told you I'm not going to touch it until I can play it with you. I told you I'm not doing it.
So yeah, you still don't know what the endless are.
I don't know
what that means.
What are those? Are they shoes? I don't know.
What are those? That's funny. It's gonna be a good time. Well, if you want, we could wrap for this week and go do some gaming.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us this week.
And
we're gone.